The Queen of Granada, by M. Riff. Chapter 182, The Wedding. To Rita's surprise, a fully dressed bridal couple stood at the door as if they were ready to enter the church and proceed straight to the altar. At that moment, Rosen appeared behind her and exclaimed, "Flores, Manolo?" Looking at the decorated Mercedes minibus filled with guests, she said, "I had no idea you were planning a wedding." Flores first glanced at Manolo, who was blushing and looking down, and said, "We didn't know either, did we?" She added, "My mum consulted, the unexpected circumstances, the priest who advised, we have the wedding, the sooner the better." Rosen looked at Manolo, who seemed tired of prying eyes regarding their quick decision. The minibus behind them was full of excited guests. Rosen knew many of them and didn't want to keep them waiting. She waved and smiled at them even though her headache was threatening to turn into a migraine. Scratching the back of her neck, she said to Flores and Manolo, "It seems that you have collected quite a few guests for your trip to the coast." She added hesitantly, "Unfortunately, there's not enough room in the house for all of you. There's a little cafe around the corner. If you go down there for a coffee, I'll join you in 10 minutes or so." They agreed. Rosen was no ordinary guest. Her social role was almost as significant as that of the priest. She took care of the family's concerns, big and small. After closing the door, she said to Rita, "Now I'm busy." Rita asked, "What about your headache?" Rosen replied, "I don't have time for that. These two young people believe they have committed the gravest sin in the universe. I cannot let them down." Rosen took a quick shower while Rita made coffee and toasted bread. Soon Rosen was standing with a coffee cup in one hand and a hairdryer in the other. Finally, Rita was in the process of zipping up Rosen's black ankle-length dress, which was one of her official suits, when Rosen said, "Regarding the canceling of today's clients, you can call those who have provided a phone number. You can talk to the others who show up as scheduled, as if they were your clients. If they ask any questions that you couldn't answer, you can tell them that you will discuss it with me and give them the results on their next visit. Then in the meantime you can look it up in books or talk to me about it." To Rita's ears, it sounded as if Rosen was about to use the opportunity to assign her greater responsibility in the clinic. Meanwhile, the rain had begun to pour down. Rita held the umbrella over Rosen's head and followed her through the garden towards the door where the minibus was already waiting for her. From a distance, they had heard the guests clapping and singing in front of the door, as they had obviously had more than black coffee at the cafe. Rosen stopped on the stone steps up to the main door, turned to Rita, and said with a worried expression on her face, "I think my dream with the children and Tobar hanging from the curtains was more than just a dream. It was a warning. When Tobar returns with the children, you must do everything you can to prevent them from driving after me to the coast. Can you do that for me?" Rita looked into Rosen's eyes. For the first time since they had met, she saw helplessness in Rosen's gaze. It wasn't just a message she wanted Rita to pass on to Tobar. It was a serious request. Rita nodded, not knowing what to say. She followed Rosen to the bus and saw that she got on board. She remained standing under the umbrella even for a while after the bus had disappeared from sight.